What's up? All right. So, look, we got a little bit to talk about today because everybody's in a frenzy because of crypto, crashing and it's crashing out. We watching our portfolios go down a little today. Um, all right. So I want to explain to you exactly what I'm doing and how I'm thinking through this. And I'm not telling you what to buy, hold, or sell. This is for information purposes only. I'm not your financial advisor. Investing comes with risk. You can lose everything. So speak to your financial advisor about your financial moves. Again, I'm only sharing what I'm doing, and everything I speak of is for educational purposes only. Do your own diligence. All right. Do your own due diligence. But for those who are holding, hopefully this is a little hopeful for you. I want to share some things that I'm looking at, and what my eyes is set on the prize. Like you know what I mean? Like, we got to remember that when it comes to some of these investments, it's a patience game. It's a patience game, and if you don't have the patience, then you're going to be in trouble. There's some other things that you got to consider if you're holding crypto. Again, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just explaining what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Okay, so I get it. People are extremely emotional right now. They get very emotional when honestly, when you just see your portfolio crashing. You know what I mean? Like, you're losing a lot of money. And it's a lot of people that's losing a lot of money right now. Okay, and so uh the thing is, right now, even with going down, we still kind of are consolidating. When you think about it, we're back and forth in these same highs and lows, and that can be frustrating for a lot of people. Altcoins haven't done much yet. Bitcoin is, bound, is range bound. um XRP is testing everybody's patience right now. But listen, I'm not panicking, guys. I'm not panicking. Me personally, I'm just not panicking right now. I'm not selling. I'm holding, and I'm buying dips. Okay, of utility coins. We just saw Solana and HBAR and Litecoin get their ETFs. And so you got to pay attention that the meme coins right now is not where it is. And then, as a matter of fact, I do have some meme coins that I've invested in, and they get the biggest hit, y'all. I mean, the meme coins is down a lot, so you want to be careful. Small positions, though. You want to be careful when you're getting meme coins. That's why, I tell people to get this, get safe cryptocurrency, or that's what I would do. You know what I mean? So I'm just looking now at yeah, like I got some down, 60 and 70%. You know what I mean? So be careful when you're getting meme coins, okay? Um, Matter of fact, before we get started, can you go ahead and like the video, please? It helps the algorithm. It helps YouTube push my video out. I am going to talk about what I'm looking at, and I think you should look this up and make sure that you are paying attention. I'm so sorry. The chats had got stuck for a minute, but I see you guys coming in, and hey, from Philly, and Gary, Indiana, what's up? Sheba, okay, ETF was just announced. I didn't know that. Thanks for sharing that. And so yeah, I'm not diamond. I'm not panicking at all. I am buying the dips. I'm going to tell you why I am buying the dips and what I'm looking at. And this is real stuff that's in the works, okay? That, and again, that's not financial advice to you. It's just my conviction. Hey, Kansas City, what's up? I just actually learned about ISO 2022, that what it means. There's no reason to not buy XRP. Okay. Yep. Strategic placing. Yeah. In real time. Listen, just first of all, to me, when you understand what's going on behind the scenes, it's not hard. It's hard for me not to be bullish. And I'm talking, maybe things seem bearish in the moment, but it's hard for me not to be long-term bullish. Y'all, do y'all even remember what even XRP was? What's up, San Antonio? Y'all remember what XRP was even a year ago? It was around 50 cents, y'all. I mean, people, like, it's one thing if you bought it when it reached the top at $3 and stuff, $3 and something, because people come in after the fact, and they're chasing the hype, and all the news and stuff. They're not. See, when you chasing the hype like that, it's all emotional. It's hype. Like, it's like, why are you buying this at top? You probably only buying because everybody else buying, or the price going up, or some other reason. These are the moments when it drops. These are the moments where you got to really rely on rational reasoning as to why you're buying a crypto. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, again, a year ago, it was 50 cents. I know that. And so it's like, it's still up. I mean, it's still up a lot. Even with the volatility, it's still up. A lot of them, like Bitcoin. If you was buying Bitcoin, y'all, not too long ago, earlier this year, it dipped down to like 78,000. Was you buying then? You know what I'm saying? And so I don't know if people, who was buying it when it was 30 and 60 and, are, they're just adding to their position. Okay. But listen, I'm not focused on the price today. This is what I want you to know. I'm not focused on the price today. I'm focused on the catalyst that can move it tomorrow. That's just the way I look at it. Okay. I now listen to Tom Lee this morning. And he's been right more times than not, of course. But he's still calling for Bitcoin to reach 150 to 200K. I'm like, man, he real bullish. You know, if it gets to 140, that's good. I think altcoins could have a run even at that point. But I hope he's right. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's not a guarantee just because he say it. All right. But even if it gets a little under the low, his low, I mean, it can open up the door for the rest of the market, including, XRP, Solana, Ethereum to run. He had, I think, Ethereum at 7,000. Okay. So, but let me just be clear on this. If you're somebody that's like drowning financially, or you're using your emergency fund to buy crypto, this may not be the moment to go all in. Okay. So, even on pullbacks and stuff, if you don't have money to just be patient with, don't use your bill money or anything, but I'm positioned for the long game. Okay. Because there's way too many things that's lining up right now that tells me that this is not over. As a matter of fact, it's just getting started. Hey, Foxy, you're not too late. We're here. Okay. And so keep buying, Travel said, keep buying XRP. The world is about to change. Everyone, your 2030 self will thank your 2025 self. And I totally believe that. Like, y'all got to look a little bit far out. People just want quick wins and stuff. And don't get me wrong, we all want a bull run. But at the end of the day, like, we're looking further out. And I'm not saying that there aren't things that could break structure and just be the point of like, okay, at this point, I just got to make changes. Everybody has to reevaluate their plan or their game plan according to what's happening. But I will tell you, I am very long term. Now, why am I long term? I will tell you, and I'm not here to make any wild predictions. Nobody really knows how high this thing can go. But what I do know is that the foundation that's being built behind the scenes is going to determine the next major move. That's what I do know. So I do want to talk about 5 things. Yes, patience is key. I want to say 5 things that I'm looking at that's making me be at peace. Like, you know what I mean? And these are things that you can look into, because again, if you holding the bag and you just need to keep yourself sane while the prices go crazy, then investigate these things. I won't go into them too much, but just investigate them. Number 1, Ripple Prime, which is real institutional use case. Ripple just launched Ripple Prime, which came from their acquisition of Hidden Road. Okay, so this is major because Ripple is now setting up to be the first crypto company in the world to own a global prime brokerage. Okay, so that's a different thing. That means that they can offer institutional clearing, financing, and post-trade services using XRP. That's a game changer. It's faster, it's cheaper, it's more efficient. So, and that's not speculation, it's infrastructure that's being built for the banks and the corporations. Matter of fact, I saw an article come out that was just talking about how much retailers are selling XRP every day and how many institutions have been accumulating every day since they're selling, right? So institutions are buying up your fear. Now, also, the second thing, my mistake was not taking profits at 110%. Now it's 18. Well, you must have got in really late, and yeah, lesson learned. Or you can wait it out and let it go back up. Again, I'm not telling you what to buy, hold, or sell. This is for informational purposes only, educational purposes only. But Yeah, I mean, sometimes you gotta. I mean, I believe in taking profits as well. And I have some XRP that I'll be taking profits for. So I have some short term XRP and long term XRP. But you want to be able to hold a bag for the future, especially like Bitcoin and things like that. Like that's for me, yeah. All right, so we got Ripple Prime, and then we have regulatory clarity. That's the Clarity Act, y'all. We definitely, yeah, they got Ripple Swell conferences tomorrow. So they'll be doing their conference and they'll be talking about some great stuff, I'm sure. But the Clarity Act, the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act, passed the House and is sitting in the Senate and is waiting. We're on shutdown, government shutdown. But once it's finalized, XRP and similar assets will be classified as commodities in a second market, not securities. Okay. And the reason why that's huge is because once that happens, institutions can finally enter without legal hesitation. Institutions don't want to buy in when it's all of this uncertainty going. So, when there's certainty, the market just don't like uncertainty. I'm sorry. But when there is a regulation that brings certainty, then the capital starts to flow in, and so that's when you start feeling like, okay, this isn't hype. This ain't like people just talking and all of that. It's really it starts being structured under that reality that there's legal clarity going on. So that's a big deal. I don't know. I don't think Doge is done. I mean, everything is taking a hit right now. So we can't, there's a lot of coins that everything is taking a hit except for Tile. And I'm happy I have that. I was like, man, it's the only one that's standing strong. I'm sure there's other ones, but um yeah, for me, Tile was making a lot of money while all of these coins was sinking. Bidding, sir. Let's see. Yeah, because they're up. Yeah, they've been up for a while everything else been crashing. All right. So there's I like Doge personally, but that's just me. But again, most of what I've been investing in was, Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, Chainlink, Ondo, Cardona, ADA, basically. Just I don't know if you all know, I don't want to assume that you all know exactly what it is, but anyway, ETFs, XRP ETFs, right? They are launching. I think one is on the 13th and one is scheduled for the 20th. From my understanding, there had to be some amendments done. They didn't do it right the first time or whatever. But spot ETFs are supposed to go live with Canary Capital and Bitwise. I think Bitwise is on the 20th. I think Canary Capital is first. So we're waiting on that. Of course, the shutdown has slowed down some of this stuff, but once the gates open, it's game on to me. So ETFs mean pension funds, Roth IRAs, retirement, 401ks. They can legally now hold crypto, right? So that's a level of liquidity that we haven't seen yet. Again, I'm worried about these catalysts that can change the price tomorrow. I'm not worried about it for today. Okay. Somebody said excited to be here. Finally got on the live. I love it, Don. I love it. Yeah, we talking XRP is the golden ticket. We talking all things crypto so we can stay a course, and let's not get so down on this. I'm not saying I can tell you 100% what's about to happen, but I do know that these are the catalysts that will move it, and that's what I'm focused on. So I'm updating myself on the catalyst and what these real things that are happening. Okay, there's a real use case for some of these cryptocurrencies. We got the ETFs. So hey, then we got Ripple's bank charter and FedMaster account. So we also have that. And for some people, that's flying under the radar, but it could be one of the biggest catalysts. Ripple has applied for a U.S. national bank charter and a Federal Reserve master account. Okay, so if that's approved, Ripple wouldn't just be just a fintech company anymore. It would effectively be part of the U.S. banking system. Okay, so that changes the entire narrative when we're looking at it like that. It means XRP becomes part of how global money starts to move, actually, not like a side play, but a core financial asset, a real asset. And this is how they really start to distinguish themselves from financial technology, fintech company. Okay. So that's also something that I am aware of. You know what I mean? And again, these are things that stabilize my peace when I'm thinking of this stuff long term. And then last, I want to say also is the macro environment, liquidity and leadership is just that simply. It's just that simple when you think about it, right? So macro still matters. You got to zoom out and just know macro still matters, you guys. I'm looking at the say buy and hold, smart thinking. Yeah. If you don't understand, there's no way you can yeah, you see what's happening. And that's why I really want you to look this stuff up. Look up everything I'm saying. The charter bank, the ETFs, look up the Clarity Act, look up Ripple Prime that went live. Like look this stuff up. So macro environment. Now we know that the Fed kind of went back. Now, again, I was listening to Tom Lee, and he feels like the Fed is still dovish and will come through. We'll see. But we know we just got a rate cut, and we may have, which does add liquidity to the market, but we may have a little bit more. We got some major political energy around bringing crypto also back to the U.S. So we just heard. I just listened to an interview today where Trump was just talking about how he really wants to make America the crypto capital of the world, and he's really invested in that. So, I know a lot of people got their ideas about politics and stuff. Again, I'm just stating the facts, and that does contribute because if you have the leaders who wanted America to be the crypto capital, and that don't mean that he ain't doing some things wrong or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about anything other than he wants us to be the crypto capital. Okay. And so they trying to do things to make sure of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure they want their money too. But that, in addition to, again, Tom Lee's prediction of the S&P 500 is still, he's still all the way up to 7,500. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. He feels like we're gonna accumulate, go through accumulation process, or not accumulation, but we're going to consolidate for the first 2 weeks of November, because we've had some highs and we need to consolidate a little bit. But then he thinks we're going to take off the second half of November. So, you talk about all of these things, you really got a recipe for a massive wave of new liquidity when regulation hits. And so these are things, forget the politics, let's get rich. That, you know what I mean? Like, and hey, you can have your convictions or whatever, but I just want you to position yourself. Don't beat at the air and just be mad about whatever you know what I mean? Position yourself. Position yourself, because the greater you position yourself, the greater you can be a solution to some of these things that worry you in the world. Some of these things that really bother you. You don't want to be bothered about something and then you can't do nothing about it. Position yourself, you know what I'm saying, to be able to fight back the right way. And you can't do that if you're poor. I'm sorry. The world needs you to be rich. Okay. God wants us to be wealthy. Okay. So let's make sure we get our head in the game and use wisdom with this. But I wanted to share that because these are things that I'm thinking through, right? And these are things that's like, I know what's happening. I know what the catalyst is for, again, not the price today, but the price tomorrow, the price in the future, down the line, 2030, like somebody said. I'm thinking down that, and with Bitcoin, I'm thinking way in the future. Like I'm not thinking, 2-3 years out. I personally am not selling any Bitcoin. I don't need to. Why do I need to sell Bitcoin? I got other altcoins and stuff like that's what I'm setting them the other stuff up to sell. So you want to have some of this stuff long term if you are holding on to some of it. You don't want to, it's good to have some in the future if you're into crypto. Okay. So again, I'm sharing what I'm doing, not telling you what to buy, hold, or sell. Speak to a financial advisor about investing. Everything I say is for educational purposes only. But what I know is while people are panicking and they selling and they doubting, institutions are building right under your nose. They're buying the dips, they stacking up on the liquidity, and they preparing for what's next. And I'm gonna do exactly what they doing. Y'all gonna be patient. I'm gonna be patient. You know what I mean? Like again, we always say from the impatient to the patient is where the money flows. Okay. So when fear takes over retail, accumulation starts to begin for the whales, and they can accumulate your stuff. They're not accumulating my stuff. Okay. And that's the same pattern every time. And you know what? If there was a bear market is where millionaires are born. You know what I'm saying? There's opportunity when it's a bear, there's opportunity when there's a bull. It's all about your perspective and your perception of everything that's happening. You know what I'm saying? There's always an opportunity. That's why I say calm, because forward. It's quiet, but it is moving forward. Everything that actually matters about this stuff is moving forward. And that's the bottom line. You know what I mean? And so that's what I'm standing with. And that's why I have peace about it. Chain link catalyst. Well, Chainlink, there's a lot of institutions that are wanting Chainlink. They've already spoke of it, So I think Chainlink has. Now the thing about Chainlink though is really it hasn't had its move like in a very long time, but I think it will. You know what I mean? There are there's already institutions that are they're in favor of Chainlink, and they talk about a lot of them talk about which ones they like the most. Now you do have here's my thought, like I like Solana. I have Solana too. But there are some who really feel like Solana may be too slow for what needs to be done financially. And that's where, XRP come in. And then now there's this like, I don't understand it, but there's this like fight against XRP and Solana because you know what I mean? Now the Solana people is like, XRP, we got our ETF first. And I think we should celebrate for all of them. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think it should be a fight between them. But there's a lot of future that's favorable, I would say, with Chainlink. But I personally favor XRP over over most of them. Other than like to me, like the Ethereum and Bitcoin, they like kind of over in another league. To me, you know what I mean? I don't necessarily compare them, but I still think XRP is probably going to be much faster and more efficient and more usable than probably ETH. But that's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm right about this stuff. We'll see. That's all we can say is we'll see what happens. Bitcoin, I don't even put in the same category as like cryptocurrency. It's a digital storage. It's digital gold to me. So I don't compare Bitcoin to any of these different coins. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, XRP and XLM. I think both of them will do very, very well. I'm invested in both of them. I like XRP and XLM. I do like Chainlink, like I said. I like XDC even. I think XDC has its place also as well. But yeah, XRP and XLM are gonna, I think, do very well. Got Bitcoin, but I know what's happening ROI in these ISO coins. People just need to stay emotionless. Yeah, I mean, emotions will make people make moves and stuff, and then man, and then you just got to have your game plan and you got to stick with it. And it's okay if you shift your game plan. There are people who are like, hey, if it reaches this point, then I'm going to pivot because I have to stay true to the charts. And that's a game plan. There's no, you got to have a game plan. Just have a game plan. You know what I mean? If you can stick to your game plan, then you're safe. You know what I'm saying? You're safe. You're in control. It's not out of emotions. Hey, this is what it is. This is what I said I would do. It's almost like today, I got in I was in an Uber play, and I got stopped out. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't switch. I had my game plan for where my stop loss would be, and it took off a little bit without me. I was in a surplus, so it's fine. It took off without me, and I ain't tripping. You know what I'm saying? Because there's always opportunity that comes back to you. But that was my game plan, and sometimes I just don't want to switch the game plan and be like double-minded. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're double-minded, it's like you always miss it. Like okay, I was supposed to have a tighter stop loss, and then I loosened it, and then it fell hard. And then it's like, then the next time you like, oh, I want to loosen it, and then you know what I'm saying? And it's like it always go the opposite way. If you just got to have something that you can stick to and just stick to it. And sometimes you will look at, your option plays and you'll be like, oh man, maybe I should change. Maybe I should do this. And it's like, I just stick to it because what I find is that it's not that everyone is the right decision. Okay. It's not that, like, sometimes it is like, oh, that was too much of a tight stop loss. Oh, that was too loose of a tight stop loss. But it's like, I'm just committed to sticking to what I say I'm going to do. And that keeps me outside of my emotions. And long term, when you look at the sum of everything, it's more beneficial for me. It's more beneficial for me, my emotions, my peace, my profitability, all of that. And so it's not that it's 100% right all the time. It's just that it keeps me sane and emotionally stable, and my emotional intelligence is, able to. I'm able to increase that because I'm not moving based upon circumstances left and right and left all the time. And oh, maybe I should. Oh, wait a minute, it's doing it. Oh, wait a minute. You know what I mean? Like, you know, yeah, no, I just, so make sure you have a game plan before you should have an exit strategy before you even buy. Let me just say that. Like when I was buying, fix and flips, I already know what the exit plan is before I even buy the property. I have to know because now I'm about to get tied up in contracts and have to spend money and stuff. You better know before you get in what the game plan is. And if you're making a game plan after the fact, you're going to be stressed. It's going to be full of anxiety. You're not going to be able to use the executive part of your brain, your prefrontal cortex. You're going to be all over the place. Okay. It's like trying to figure out how to escape from a fire and you never did the drills. You never mapped out the exit plans or anything. Okay. So I'm happy. Look. She say, I feel this deeply. I'm going to show that. Right. So, and this is a principle of life. You know what I mean? You got to map out the exit strategy in the beginning because then you will have clear direction. You will have clear directions. Like if you don't know where you're going, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to put in the steps to get there first if you don't know where you're going. It's better to know what the strategy is and then be able to reverse engineer back and put things into place that'll get you there. You can't just be all over the place just winging it. Okay? You can't wing it. You're not supposed to be winging it, right? That's how you lose. You don't know what you're doing. So again, you're not going to be perfect every time, right? But if you have a strategy, it just keeps you from being super emotional and, always just, when you do something over and over, you create habits. Like if you can't make a decision, then you create a habit of indecisiveness. And that habit of indecisiveness, it starts to filter through every area of your life to the point where you never can make decisions. You ever met somebody who just can't make a decision? You know what I mean? They just go back and forth and back and forth. And it's like, make a decision. So, you know, and stick to it. And if it's wrong, let it be wrong. And at some point you can learn from it and you can adjust is win or learn. But make a decision and try to stick with it at least the majority of the time. Right. So that's what happens, that we, and so anyway, needless to say, this doesn't have to be perfect. We all make mistakes. If you're an option trader, you know that you make mistakes. You know that you experience the fear and, oh, I did this wrong. And, oh, I should have done, and you just go back and you evaluate and you get the feedback and you write in your journal and you learn more about yourself. And next time you come back to the table and you have a better plan in place. Okay. So, yeah, that's a lesson in and of itself for life, right? So proper preparation prevents poor performance, and you guys have heard that before. It's the truth. So let's prepare, let's understand. And to prepare, you got to be educated. So everything that I just went over, look it up, learn for yourself, know what you're doing. Don't just buy on hype. Don't get into things you don't understand. You just have more confidence when you understand these things. Okay. It said the goal is to make money. Absolutely. You know what I mean? And not lose so much money. We just losing. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I didn't play Palantir. I didn't. I decided not to, and I think that was a good decision because last I looked, it was falling a little bit. Yeah, I mean it didn't fall that much. Well, it's at 198 now, so it did fall a little bit, 4% in post market. So remember, I said I might do option plays for Palantir, AMD, and Hood. Well, I decided not to for Palantir. And they are lottos. Like you don't know if it's gonna go up or down after earnings. But I might decide to do AMD and Hood. I'll let you know. But I didn't decide to do Palantir. And that was a good move. So we got two left, quarterly earnings for AMD and Hood. I don't remember which one is tomorrow and one is the next day. I think Hood is on the 5th. So then AMD is tomorrow. I'm thinking AMD may hopefully do well. So we'll see. All right. I'll let you know. I'll keep you guys updated, but do your due diligence. Oh, like the video, please. If you have not liked it, please, it just helps me. It's your way of saying thank you, right? And if you haven't yet, join our membership. The membership is where we have a exclusive live stream, Q&As, more hands-on things to help you grow spiritually, financially, mentally. And it's your way of supporting the channel. And it's only $3.99. I think it's less for Android users, as I say. And then it's my way of saying thank you and I appreciate you. And so I'll give you some exclusivity. We'll do some Q&A. We're learning and growing. Actually, after I get off, I need to I got a post that I want to put in there because I was teaching like basics with indicators. And somebody said, as long as you breathe and you can try again. Let me go through some of these comments. And then also the 90-day our community is also in the description. That's full-on coaching to rebuild your mindset, your health, your wealth. We had a phenomenal session today. And I did a little bit of charting today with them, and we walked through some great things with stewarding our health as well. But we walked through some great things. Okay, but that's where we go a little deeper into strategy, structure, and I would say sustainable success. You get the full coaching experience there. I need help understanding option. Yeah, option is just it's a lot to learn. It's a skill and it takes time. I'm still learning. I mean, if you do any level of trading, you're still learning. I love the investor's mindset. I'm an investor. My nature is to be an investor. Right now, if you have a small amount of Doge, Solana, Mana, would you continue to invest because it's so low? If you got extra, dry powder on the side to buy the dips, I'm buying the dips. Again, I'm not telling you what to buy, hold, or sell, but I think these are great prices, to dollar cross average. Know. Anytime there's a dip, to me, it's a great time to buy, especially if you're trying to accumulate. Because the thing is, y'all don't want to throw everything in something at once. You know what I mean? You want a dollar cross average. And if it's coming down, that's a good way to bring your dollar cross average down. Now you can also dollar cross average up if you're thinking again long term, So there's people still buying Bitcoin at 120,000 because they like, okay, this is gonna go to 250 at some point or 500,000 at some point. So you can do a little bit of both. Okay, I made $500 off of Palantir. Yes, Stevie J, good for you. I love it. I love to hear that. Swell tomorrow. Let's see. I got Palantir $25. Yes, I look, man, this is how wealth is built. $25. Okay. Great content. Thank you so much, Mr. Rich. Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Foxy, back the truck up and buy the dip. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, I was just sharing what I'm doing, and I wanted to kind of come in and explain my thought processing behind it, and just kind of hopefully put a little piece in you. If you're again looking long term, that doesn't mean we couldn't go down even more. I'm not promising you anything. I'm just telling you my plan and the catalyst and the things that I'm looking for. And to me, it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. You know what I mean? So I was always long term with it, so it's all good. But again, if you got money tied up that you absolutely need, you got to figure out where you draw the line in the sand. You got to figure out what your game plan is. If you got money that you need tied up, then that's a different story. You're going to have a different game plan. You know what I'm saying? What's right for you is right for you, and what's right for somebody else is right for somebody else. So you got to figure that out. Okay. Thank you so much. All right, I'll be back on. Thank you so much, Oren. I don't even want to mess your name up, but I appreciate you. I appreciate you. All right. Okay. If I dip, I'm canceling my trip and hitting the buy button. There you go. You got a plan in place. You like, I'd rather invest in my future and assets on sale than a trip. Okay, I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you at all. All right, I'll see you guys later. I appreciate you. She laughed. She or he. I don't even know if it's a she or he. Let me not say anything, but I just didn't know how to pronounce that name. But I hopefully you, first of all, you one of my members. So I hope you feel the love, and we continue to get to connect in the membership. So I appreciate you so much. All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day and have a blessed day. Please, if you haven't already, hit that like button on the way out. And if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'm really trying to, grow the page and add as much value as I can. Also put in the comments if there's something you want me to talk about, because I do look at the comments and I do make the content based on you. I'm here to serve you. All right, you guys. Peace out. I love you guys. See you later.